just thought I'd bring you out for a little walk. What appears to be almost a really lunar landscape. Anyway, I thought I'd get together this morning and just talk to you a little bit about when things don't quite go to plan. And this video is actually not too dissimilar to that. I've arrived in the car park only to find that what I thought was low tide, well, it is low tide over this side, but trying to get to this location actually took quite a bit of rock hopping. But anyway, so Matt and I have just filmed the Welcome to the Luminous Light video. If you haven't watched that, there'll be a link here, but and also some pretty funny bloopers. Prior to filming that video, I started to film a bit of a how do I scout and what do I do type of video. Now, I started in the office and did a few of the tools that I use, and that was all good. Then I actually got out to location and found that I had completely stuffed up the tide times. So actually, just have a look at these rocks on the ground here. Sorry, little deviation. So anyway, I had planned to head out to this little dinghy that I'd seen out in the middle of some water. It looked really nice, but when I got there, the tides were wrong, and it would have been a boat floating in water, which is not easy to film, or actually photograph, sorry. So that kind of got me wondering. When we started Luminous Light, Matt and I promised that we would share, our hits and misses, and that was a little bit of a miss, just the planning of that. Now, everything wasn't too spare. I was actually at a little house on the beachfront, and this house faces almost east, which means sunsets are not something that happen, well, they happen every night, but colourful sunsets don't normally happen. Anyway, I'm sitting in the lounge room, I'm watching out the window, and I see the light starting to kick off of a sunset. So I grabbed my camera gear. I'd actually had a shower for the night, so I was in my boxer shorts. Really, imagine what that would look like. And I grabbed my camera. I run down to the beach, and I happen to snap this photograph. Now, it's very important, I think, to be ready. And sometimes, I'm sitting there on the lounge, a little bit of self-doubt's kicking in. Do I shoot this? Do I not shoot this? I thought, no, I'm going to go. I love this photograph. It's absolutely fantastic. So, a little bit of a hit and a miss. Sometimes what you plan for doesn't work out, particularly if it's a new location, you don't quite know it. I kind of stuffed up the tides here today. I'm still getting to know them. But these things happen. The other thing that I find is that the photograph that I plan to go and shoot isn't the photograph that I come home with. It's generally something very different. And that's okay too. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Anyway, a bit later I'm going to show you through how I edited this photograph. But for now, I just thought I would share with you the hits and misses. I'm also doing a little bit of scouting, so I'll probably come back a little bit later on and yeah, talk to you a bit more. So let's talk a little bit about scouting. So what am I looking for when I'm out scouting? In this location, I've not been here before, but one thing that does work really well on some of the footage, you would have seen the red cliffs that I've got here. These red cliffs in the morning on the right side absolutely just glow red. Now, where I'm at the moment, the sun is pretty much straight in front of my face. And that means that these cliffs, some of these cliffs will light, some of them won't. The ones behind me will, but kind of heading the other way, they won't. The other thing I'm looking for is something which is a little bit simplistic. So just over my shoulder here, I'm not sure if you can see it, I'll move the camera around. We have big rocks like this. So if it just for just a moment imagine it's a fairly peaceful day today. All right. So what we've got is the wharf in the background, but we'll exclude that. But we're thinking about, rocks like this, got a beautiful bit of texture to them, a little bit of color, And then we've got a little bit of wave movement around them. So we could either go long exposure and make sure those waves really just calm down and almost go to nothing, so we've got almost a black and white image. Or if you just come back here a little bit more, you can see, hopefully, there's another little rock just there. So we could start adding in, you know, smaller rocks, larger rocks. There's even a little one just there we could do. So I'm just looking for these types of compositions just to see how they'll turn out. The other thing I'm looking at the location is how far I am. Like, I've parked all the way over there and walked all the way over here. Now that's okay when I'm by myself, probably still puffing and panting a little bit like a untrained person that I am, but I've got to carry a lot of camera gear with me as well. Well, I don't have to, but I choose to. So what does that mean? The other thing that I'm looking for, as I turn around, you'll see all this silver stuff. So just here, all this silver stuff, that's seaweed, dry seaweed. So kind of gives me an indication of how far the tide will come. I don't think it normally comes up quite that far. It's probably, you know, more like this. But, you know, that means, can I get here? Now what I've found, I can pretty much walk from the jetty, which is not too bad. There's a little bit of a rock hop involved, but these are the types of things I'm looking for. So I'm looking for where the sun is at the moment. I'm also looking at what's around, where the sun's going to hit those compositional elements, where the shadows are going to be, how safe it's going to be for me, what times I need to be here. So all these things go into how I scout out a location. So now, coming up in the next couple of weeks, Matt and I are actually going to be doing one of our big first trips together. So during that trip, we're going to be gone for a number of days. So we will be showing you all through our tips on composition, how we take photographs, editing, all that stuff we talked about in the welcome video we're going to be doing on that trip. So looking forward to that. Well, I'm not going to tell you where it is just yet, but I will tell you, well, we're not going to tell you, we're going to show you when you get the videos done. So anyway, I'm going to walk back to the car. Hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Like I said, you're not always going to succeed in every photograph that you take. If you did, you'd be the world's greatest photographer. But getting that planning down pat, you know, always does help. And even if you stuff up some of that planning, you still learn. And just come out here and try and shoot it anyway. Find something else when you get here. Anyway, guys, see you in the next video, which hopefully should be the big trip. And yeah, we'll catch you on the other side.